The expensive restaurant fell completely silent the moment billionaire single father Adrian Vale looked at the empty chair across from him for the 10th time. Every guest secretly recognized the powerful businessman whose companies employed thousands, yet no one knew that behind his success was a lonely father who had spent years raising his little son alone after losing the love of his life. His blind date had promised she would be there at exactly noon, but an hour passed under the bright afternoon sunlight pouring through the tall windows, and the chair remained empty. Just as Adrian stood up, believing he had been humiliated once again, a young woman in worn-out clothes approached his table. What happened next would change both of their lives forever. Before we continue this unforgettable journey, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with your friends, and subscribe to True Tale Time if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the incredible power of compassion. Your support helps bring more heartwarming stories like this to life. The young woman was named Maris, and unlike everyone else in the elegant restaurant, she looked as though she had walked for miles beneath the warm daytime sun. Her shoes were faded, her simple blue dress had been carefully stitched in several places, and her hands carried the marks of long hours spent cleaning offices and caring for elderly neighbors. She stopped beside Adrian's table with visible hesitation, her cheeks turning red with embarrassment. She quietly explained that she was not the woman he had been waiting for. She had accidentally overheard the staff whispering that his date had cancelled without even sending a message. Looking into his tired eyes, she simply said that anyone willing to wait so patiently for someone deserved better than being left alone. Those gentle words struck Adrian harder than any business failure ever had because no one had spoken to him with such honest kindness in years. Maris admitted she had only entered the restaurant to deliver flowers for a local shop where she worked part-time. She knew she looked out of place among wealthy guests, yet something inside her would not allow her to ignore a man whose loneliness reminded her of her own father before he passed away. Adrian was left speechless because she expected nothing in return. She did not ask for money, a favor, or even gratitude. She simply wished him peace before turning to leave. Something unexpected happened inside Adrian's heart. For years, people had admired his wealth, respected his influence, or wanted something from him, but this stranger had noticed only his pain. He asked if she would join him for lunch instead of letting the meal go to waste. Maris almost refused, afraid that people would judge her appearance, but Adrian insisted that kindness deserved a seat at the table more than wealth ever could. As they talked beneath the bright daylight streaming through the windows, Adrian learned that Maris was raising her younger brother after their parents had died in a traffic accident several years earlier. Every morning she worked multiple jobs before returning home to help him with schoolwork. She dreamed of becoming a teacher but had sacrificed her education so her brother could continue his own. Despite carrying enormous burdens, she smiled whenever she spoke about his future, believing that love mattered more than comfort. Adrian shared a truth he had hidden from nearly everyone. Although he was one of the country's youngest billionaires, every evening he returned to a mansion that felt painfully empty except for his cheerful 8-year-old son, Nolan. His son constantly asked why other children had mothers waiting at school events while he did not. Adrian always found excuses, but every answer broke his heart a little more. Success had built skyscrapers and companies, but it had never filled the silence waiting at home. Their unexpected lunch ended with genuine laughter neither had expected to experience that day. Adrian thanked Maris for reminding him that kindness still existed in the world. He offered her financial help, but she politely declined, saying that accepting money for simply being kind would make her kindness meaningless. Adrian respected her decision more than she realized. Days turned into weeks, yet Adrian could not stop thinking about the woman who had restored something inside him. Instead of sending expensive gifts, he quietly visited the neighborhood where she lived. There he witnessed her helping elderly neighbors carry groceries, tutoring children for free beneath a large tree during sunny afternoons, and sharing her own meals with families who had even less than she did. She had almost nothing, yet somehow gave everyone around her hope. Meanwhile, Nolan met Maris during a community reading event. The shy little boy instantly connected with her gentle nature. She never treated him like the son of a billionaire. Instead, she encouraged him to paint pictures, tell stories, and laugh without worrying about expectations. Adrian watched from a distance as his son smiled more brightly than he had in years. However, not everyone welcomed their growing friendship. Business magazines began publishing rumors that Adrian had fallen in love with a poor woman seeking his fortune. Social media filled with cruel comments mocking Maris's appearance and humble background. Friends warned Adrian that associating with someone from poverty could damage his reputation. The criticism reached Maris as well. Heartbroken, she decided to step away from Adrian and Nolan, believing their lives would be easier without her. She quietly left a handwritten note thanking them for reminding her that genuine people still existed, even if the world refused to believe it. When Adrian found the note, he realized that silence would only allow fear to win again. For the first time in his career, he ignored board meetings and public expectations. Instead, he searched every place where Maris volunteered until he found her teaching children beneath the same tree where she had always shared hope with others. Under the clear afternoon sky, Adrian admitted that she had changed not only his life but also his son's future. He explained that love was never measured by bank accounts, designer clothes, or social status. It was measured by the courage to care when caring offered no reward. Maris's eyes filled with tears because no one had ever valued her heart more than her circumstances. Months later, the mansion that once echoed with loneliness became filled with laughter, children's drawings, and simple family dinners. Maris finally pursued her dream of becoming a teacher while Nolan proudly introduced her as the person who taught him that kindness could heal invisible wounds. Adrian discovered that the greatest investment he had ever made was trusting someone whose richest possession was compassion. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that true love begins with kindness rather than wealth, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to True Tale Time for more emotional stories that inspire faith in humanity. Special request, please comment with the words, "Kindness always wins," if you believe one act of compassion can completely change someone's life. As the golden afternoon faded into a peaceful evening, Adrian realized that the blind date who never arrived had unknowingly led him to the person destiny had chosen all along. Sometimes life closes one door not to punish us, but to guide us towards someone whose heart is worth more than every fortune in the world. And somewhere beyond wealth, beyond titles, and beyond appearances, two lonely souls discovered that the greatest miracle is not finding someone perfect, it is finding someone who sees your pain, chooses to stay, and quietly teaches you how to smile again.